Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included. So last episode, we were working on a cargo rocket to gain thermium. But before I continue with that project, I want to go over some feedback I received from all of you. One, Kyle mentioned that the molecular forge up here would indeed benefit from some lighting. So let's get some lighting. Sticking a light here will speed up production by 15%. It's not much, but it makes sense to do because it's not a lot of material. Nate R proposed a very interesting way to deal with the gases that build up in this biome, and that is to basically dig a giant tunnel from space down to the magma biome. I think that this is a hilarious idea, and I will happily do it. Obviously, not too far. Obviously, I'm going to need a ladder in there, but yeah, it's a rather hilarious idea, and for that reason alone, yes, I will. Okay. I will have to add some liquid locks and the like to this sort of giant ladder. But yeah, for now, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Speaking of liquid locks, let's go ahead and make some visco gel next time our ship comes back. Other tips. D. Hammond mentioned one that really honestly I should have thought myself, which was, hey, why not 2 conveyor loaders? One for the general stockpile and one for where your rare materials get shunted out. Yeah, I mean, that's really smart, and I am ashamed I didn't think of it, so thank you, D. Hammond. Let's go do that. So that would look something like this, where the rare material conveyor loader is going to have a filter for all of the special stuff, and then the other conveyor loader here will just be your run-of-the-mill material that we don't much care about, where it goes here. And the conveyor bridge will stop this material from bypassing. So, done. Done. I like it. All right, let's start speeding time up so that they can work on that. I also got one other message, which I sort of riffed on, but Dead Dodo had a thought about all of my water. Isn't there a way to use it as a coolant or heat sink? So here's the deal. When I get thermium, I'm not really going to need to be running petroleum through here anymore. And what I'll do is I will run my water as a heat sink. So if you take a look at the water here, I've got a whole lot of it. And if I run it through this hydrogen room, I can cool it down. Obviously, I don't want it to cool down to the point where it's frozen, because that has other dire consequences as a result. But I can cool it down to the point where I'll be able to just use it to chill the base a little bit. You got to be careful with water, though, because its freeze point is obviously 0 C, and if it phase changes in your pipes, well, your pipes are going to blow. And, well, we don't want that now, do we? And then, of course, we're still working on the cargo bay up here. Yep. I don't have a whole lot of steel to work with, as you can see. So we're just waiting on my steel production to catch up to where we can start, continuing the work. And we're just making a little bit of steel at a time. It's okay. It's not a race, is what I have to keep telling myself for my lack of productivity. Another thing I could do over here is, to make the runs shorter, just put conveyor bridges here, once I have the material for it, and then send the rail material out on its way on the same line, to save space. And actually, given the expense of everything, Well, yeah, I might as well do it. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is rework this as a high priority because I only have a... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother because it'd be, I think, more effort than it's worth to save that material. Alright. Over here, reject all. I don't even need that. What I can do is the shipping rail is, well, I won't use up the steel just yet. But as you can see, yeah, steel is hard to come by when you're making big projects. I will be able to transition away from steel for a lot of this stuff, though, once I have thermium. Because thermium has the same high temperature properties of steel, but is made from tungsten and niobium, and not iron and carbon. And that's going to help me out a lot. Okay, let's get that insulated. Not that I'm worried about just like a dust cap or two, but it's better to have it. Alright, so the Operation Crazy Tunnel, which is this. Oh boy. It's going to be one weird tunnel. We will just allow everything in this biome to passively outgas to space. If I want to speed it up, I could always add in pumps. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm also going to need to protect myself from outgassing stuff I don't want. So I'll eventually add viscogel liquid locks to this setup. And I'm going to aid in its digging just by, you know, adding tunnels and the like. You know, I take that back. I really don't want to do that. Because that is all pure chlorine that I would start leaking due to the fact that it's part of this chlorine gas vent. That would not be good. I think some snow melted and I lost my bridge here that I used to have. And we'll also be digging through slime. So I also need to think about suppressing the slime lung. You know? But again, it's eventually going to space, so. Well, we have a lot of art projects in and around the base. I'm going to start prioritizing some of them. Or maybe all of them. Just for the morale bonuses. Just something I want. Okay, so we have our light bulb. I can start breaking down the ladders. And this is one of the light bulbs that I'm happy to just to have on at all times. Here is our mass amounts of pedestals for our space artifacts. And in no particular order, I'm just going to be dumping. Now, it's possible that I will at some point set up a proper rec room and a kitchen that supports a wide variety of foods and the like. But I haven't gotten there yet, so. My natural gas and my hydrogen are about the same volume now. That is my hydrogen able to catch up. I think it would be worth something to... Oh, hey, we have liquid phosphorus too. Oh, good. Uh-oh. I did not mean for them to low... Okay. All right. So, let's figure it out. We are sending oxalite. 10,000 with 1... I don't even know how many fuel I need. I have 2 fuel built. Yeah, honestly, I don't even need 2 fuel. This second fuel, I could get rid of. The, Yep. Well, that will be a bit of a redesign. But this will only be 593. I just ran the math. So 593. Well, my worry is when they unload it, will they waste a bunch of material like they sometimes, or I would say normally do. That is what's got me worried. All right, Mr. Steelmaker. We have a little bit of steel down here. Just keep on keeping on. I want my steel, and badly. And as you can see, as soon as we had the insulation, that dust cap sprung to life. Because there's a lot of heat out here. There's enough heat out here that I actually think it would be worthwhile to do that. Wall it all off like this. And then I can actually break this down and reclaim this area if I wanted to. All right, star map. We are about almost 70% of the way there. Here is my other cargo bay. Before I actually build this cargo bay, I ought to build the rails for it, which will be here. Because these rails are going to be difficult to build once the bay is set up. And the idea here is essentially just use one rail and absolutely minimize the distance that things have to travel. All right, so let's 9 this. Yes, they hauled in the oxalate. Oh, that is most excellent. I was worried about that. So let's retract this because that's all the fuel I need. Then over here, this only needs to be 593. Going out to only 10,000 is really inexpensive, as you can see. All right. And that is... Note, the conveyor bridge is made out of copper. That won't do. I'll have to check the material for everything else now that I'm... Okay, the rest was steel. I only made that mistake in one spot, not all. And then what I'll be able to do is break down this gantry, because we're not going to need a gantry. And if you're wondering why I have a gantry everywhere else, it's so that if I overfuel stuff, I can remove fuel. I did get that as a YouTube comment, like, why do you need a gantry? And that's actually a pretty good question, I would say. I need a gantry because, you know, the overfueling is... You don't want to just burn that off. It would be pretty wasteful. All right. And my shipping is almost done. By these rails here to move material. I'm going to stick this as 8. Just gets done a little sooner. All right, let's deconstruct the gantry. I think it's just the gantry here that needs deconstructing. And I can also get rid of some of the steel cabling too, as it's not necessary anymore. And I'm actually going to dig this out as well, because there's some steel I can reclaim. I mean, there's a lot of redesigns. When I originally built this like space, I don't know, we'll call it a station, I guess. Because it is in space and it is a station. It's not the common use of what a space station would be, whatever, it doesn't matter. I knew less about the game than I know now, and obviously I would redesign this significantly had I the time, materials, manpower, etc. But I don't need to redesign it. It works pretty well, but there's just some things that would be nice, you know, these sort of nice to haves. All right. Steel, you are actually looking pretty good on all the materials required, so just keep delivering it and we'll be good. One thing I could do is a storage bin here for all of the steel reagents. So what is this bin for? This is for just fossils. I'm also going to put refined carbon in here, so that we have somewhere to put refined carbon that's closer to the metal refinery. And then this box will have the lime and the refined iron in it. And that should speed things up. I in truth, not even sure why we hadn't done that. So here will be refined metals, iron as a 9, and lime is a what? What is a lime? What is a lime? That's a... yeah. No, I know what limes are, guys. I'm just saying, in what heading is lime? Well, how about I just uncollapse all of this and just do the... it's really not industrial ingredient? Whoa, I would have thought it would be in there. Oh, here it is. Consumable ore. Lime. Alright, new printables are available. Joya seeds. How is my decor now? Pushing max. Nice. And then we have all these mirth flowers that I could just add more mirth. Merry, merry mirth. Okay, so now it is a lot easier to, let me sweep the rest of this up. It is a lot easier to metal refine when all your materials are nearby. Someone got a sunburn. Bryce was out here mining for a bit too long. Yep. Dedication to the job, my friend. That is some dedication. My ship should be... yep, it's coming back. Any second now. The sat. Heading back. Alright, I don't actually have enough steel for this cargo bay, but we'll get it. Then, with the ship coming back, I would very much like my rail system to be ready. Oh, it is. Okay, so here's the deal. This is going to be for everything except for rare resources. Don't do slime either. And I think that's good. Rare resources and slime, I don't want going in there. Everything else is fine. And then this one is just going to be for rare resources. Let's get this plugged in so it can actually operate. And yeah, I think this is a really good solution, so thanks for that tip. I like how the auto sweeper is delivering material immediately, even though it's not powered up. That's how you know it's gonna work. I mean, that's not true, but I can pretend. Space mission's complete. Here comes Sat. Rocketing back. Welcome home. We are going to want to fuel this up. Well, I don't actually need this switch. Okay, we didn't find any artifacts or anything. That's okay. Sine curve. Out the gantry. And as you can see here, all of the materials, copper, iron, obsidian, fullerene, etc., isoresin, it's all just getting emptied out. That's what we want. Great. And soon this other cargo bay, this other cargo rocket will be good to go. All right. Iron. So I guess my question is, we are constantly having to wait for refined metal iron. So where is it? Oh, a ton of it is in space. Ah. I see. That's really the bottleneck there. Waiting for that refined metal to be, you know, delivered or whatever. I understand now. I understand why it's a little slower. It would be pretty helpful then to just refine iron in place, and maybe I'll do that for a bit. Just to speed this up. So I'm going to switch over to iron ore, or iron ore to iron, I should say. And then in here, I will also put, let's have another box. Just more boxes, so many more boxes. And this will just be iron ore, just my world supply iron ore. Trying to work on decor, making it pretty where I can, because I have all this spare gold. Oh, there should not be a Dreco there. How are my ranches? 5, and so I need more gloss. I need more both. Is there some over here to? Nope. There's none in my overflow to wrangle. I like how the pips have been thriving. These wild pips that I just have ignored. Speaking of ignored, it seems like, yep, my overflow lock worked, and it actually filtered the water for me, as you can tell, as this water doesn't have pollutants, so that these wouldn't fill up. Worked like a charm. Okay, my suit docks here that I wanted to suit up have not, well, we're still in the process of delivering, so maybe what I'll do is just have these as 9 so that they deliver it sooner. I made the suits, I made the docks, I gave them oxygen, so I might as well focus on the easy part. Okay, I'm going to temporarily stop sweeping this. I will keep mining it. But we're having to sweep it to this storage bin, which is not efficient. And of course it gets... That's funny. So the reason I was doing this is just to remove some of the steel that was in the bunker, the doors, just you know, trying to min-max every penny of, well, every ounce, I should say, of steel that I could. So at the top here, we have the command capsule, which I, again, don't have the steel for. Oh, no, there we go. There's the cargo bay. So this cargo bay... Yep, the bridge looks good. And then I'm going to want another bridge, like here-ish, when I have the steel. So we're actually pretty close to having this all set, which is great. Then the other thing is that, yes, we don't have petroleum to actually fuel this. Don't worry, that has occurred to me. I will need to run my pipes over there, but... one thing I didn't actually see is if my filtration worked. Which I have no idea, because right now we have a pile of stuff that might be wrong. Oh, did I switch them? I switched them. I bet a bunch of you were like, yeah, you're doing that wrong. And, yeah, I did. I did do that wrong. Okay. Here, we're going to do some Visco gel. I'm going to have to put in some new locks. And I might as well have them be Visco locks. For fun. Because why not? And then we'll have a gantry here. Guys are almost done sweeping up. Poor Bryce with that sunburn. How's my weird tunnel doing? I don't think I've had other work prioritized, so yeah, we really haven't done much here. Which is fine. I don't... It's not a high priority. I might need to reintroduce some more petroleum into my coolant loop. Because we've been using it as fuel. But I bet I'll have thermium before it really becomes too much of a problem. Could be a famous last word, but something tells me that that might be the case. Alright, so that's a little bit of reclaimed steel. We'll put the command pod as a 9. And then, the last thing is... I'm just gonna... nah, it's really sloppy. My entire fueling loop... My entire fueling loop is going to have to significantly change at some point. Well, I won't connect that just yet. So let's have this as an 8. As it is somewhat, well, even fairly important. Okay. Still waiting on the command cap, but that's fine. There is strikes incoming. Close the iris. Five and 6. If it's still 5, did one just die of old age? Because I knew I had one set to wrangle. I'm going to expect or assume yes. Yes, one did just passively die. Alright, so we do have a little bit of Visco gel. We have 400 kilograms of it. And then I could demo what the Visco gel liquid locks look like. They're a lot easier to make. They are still vulnerable of washout. So you still have to be careful of, well, washing them out. Another thing I wanted to do is, if I have this giant, like, space tube thing... Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna get a giant space tube, I might want to have my transit tube travel to there, but it's going to be really hard to get my transit tube to go left of this area. Oh, speaking of which, oh boy, I was redoing this, but I had, okay, bit of a problem. I wanted a plastic ladder here to speed up movement, where I cut the fire pole. Because generally speaking, when someone fire poles from the top, they're coming to the checkpoint. They're probably not going from top to bottom, as that's just not a typical path. So having a ladder here is fine. Okay, so building attunement signals to me that we are done there. Let's get sine curve back up to space. There's some regolith that's to be mined. Let me mine it as a 9. I basically don't want, like, hyper hot regolith, if I can help it. Some of it actually just broke. But right now our, oh, there we go. Our engine's entombed. So we get rid of this regolith real quick. Printables! I guess more copper ore. I've been leaning on the copper ore a while now. And then we're, on this rocket, we're just heading straight back to the metallic asteroid for more fullerene. We're going to want a lot of fullerene. We're going to want a lot of supercoolant. Supercoolant is so helpful. Okay, there we go. We are all set. Launch. Oh, I feel stupid. I had a gantry that was deployed. I could set up, a little bit of AI to prevent gantries from ever being deployable like that when I launch as like a failsafe. But for 20 steel, whatever. All right, so over here, I did want raw mineral. It's not a mineral. Raw metal ore, iron ore, 9. And let's switch back to steel. So this box has 4 tons of iron. So it should be pretty easy to now crank out a significant amount of steel. Let's fix that gantry. I kind of just want to get that stupid embedded metal, whatever it is, I don't even know what it is, out of the embedded wall there. So we'll get that done as well. Okay, my conveyor loaders are almost empty. This plumbing line is surely not any closer to being done, but that's all right. How hot is my returning coolant anyway? Oh, it's not actually that hot. I mean, it's obviously scorching, but it's not so bad. All right, I'm going to raise this or lower this down to 75C. To make it loop back for a bit. Purposefully loop back. Alright, another thing I think might be useful is... Actually, if I have that even 1 higher, it might be nicer. Let's do that. Alright, so the idea here is just allowing our dupes to get to the tunnel quick, if they so choose. And this valve here is for... What's this for? Oh, that's my petroleum fill line. Let me break that valve and put it somewhere else. And then before we even... Well, I could dig down here, I guess. Yeah, it'll just be useful for, like, some transportation. So, we should not have coolant flowing up, which means we don't have soon we won't have return fluid coolant. Fluid coolant. Now oh wow, this is done. This rocket's done. So now all I really need is the rise is stuck. Now I really need is the fill tubes and the gantry. And eventually the conveyor bridge. I might... Oh, I don't know. I might try to min-max this conveyor rail line just so that it is the shortest it needs to be. What are you standing on, Bryce? Like, for real, what are you standing on? I don't see anything underneath you. Cool. If you could teach me how to levitate, I would appreciate it. Because that is a very interesting trick. I guess there was invisible sand underneath you, so if you could teach me how to make sand go invisible, that also would be a very interesting trick. I'd love to learn it. It looks to me like I am low on igneous. Oh no, I'm not that low on igneous. Never mind. But there's a huge node of igneous. Well, there's some here. There's some here. There's a lot there, actually. And there's a ton here. So igneous is not a problem. All right, let's have a plumber. Yeah, let's have a plumber empty this pipe here. Oh, you know what? It's just going to keep flowing out. So let me deconstruct this bridge and then empty the pipe. Oh. Nope. Oh, yep. Okay, it did get stuck. That's fine. Pipe emptying there, too. I just don't want petroleum leaking everywhere. It's just easier for me to do it this way. Okay, space. We almost have the pipe network done. I have cut it so that I can change the path of the fuel. So now I just need to wait for this to break. All right, that should do it. Perfect. So that's our fuel line for the liquid fuel tank. And then we will need a gantry and we'll be good. It occurs to me that because I need a gantry, I will, in fact, need to be running my power up here. Oh well, there goes all that steel I thought I was going to use for that bridge. It's all good. Okay, the really important part is the plumbing, because I would like coolant to start flowing around my, you know, my setup again. So there, coolant's done. Let's go down here and get that flowing. Where is my coolant loop? Here it is. All right, threshold 80. I'll let it go. Looks like I have about 4 tons of, or 4,000 kilograms of left. I obviously am going to have a huge leak problem on this plastic tile due to the fact that I've let the ice just sort of melt passively. And one thing I could do about that is in this section here, I could have, like, mesh tile until this melts. Okay, so we should be ready for launch here soonish. It's not much of a gantry, but it'll have to do. Let's plug this in. Doesn't have the sexy runway of a bunker tile or anything like that. What? Stupid metal? Whatever. I'm just chasing it. I'll never be able to get it fully removed. I'm not gonna worry about it. Don't stress about these things, Rad. I have to continue telling myself. There's only so much I should bother to fix. Okay, these are unreachable. I see you. Alright, says no egg selected. How are we looking? 6 and 7. Let's keep incubating. Alright, a signal switch with the no steel that I currently have. Never mind. Yeah, this steel, I knew it was going to be a bottleneck, but oh boy is it ever. Also, because I'm using 9s everywhere, my guys are not, there. The storage bin is now an 8, so we won't be moving around the iron ore as much. I think that a lot of my dupes are probably working on that. Okay, so it is fueling up now. So this rocket is getting fueled and soon will be ready to launch, which reminds me to put the refueling plumbing back in. So what would that be? That would be a liquid bridge. And then these two bridges, let's get them going. And then we'll put the valve in this location or something. So plumbing, liquid valve. Right here is fine. Because the intake is right here. Okay. That's a refill. As soon as this valve gets made, I'll probably want to prevent the flow until I know I want to keep adding liquid. Because we are getting to a point where I'm not going to... Once we have thermium, I'm not going to really need to refuel anymore. All right, so there's my gantry. Let's not break it this time. Automation signal switch. And the wires. And then I do only have a manual opener for this door here. I will get a space scanning one soon. That would be really easy to make. Oh, the Explorer 2. Cool. That's the name of this rocket. It'd be really easy to make because I just need, you know, a space scanner and I'll just stick it. How about I do that now? All I need to do for this is put a space scanner roughly in this location. And that should be enough. I'll just wire it up with the automation, just like here, where I have two switches, an override switch, the AND gate. It will require a little bit of steel. Actually, for symmetry purposes, let me do it this way, because I already have the input port there. I'll stick this right here. And get that built. But it doesn't really need to be built initially because I could just override it. I can just correct it. All right, come on, steel. Yeah, all my dupes decided that this project was all of a sudden hyper important, and that's what they've been doing. They're not wrong. We have some water that is leaking. I'll clean that up. That's the whole purpose of this mesh tile once it's built, is it will push the water this way. Yeah, I would very, very confidently say that this petroleum is not going to freeze, because it has been a lot of cycles and we haven't had it froze yet. I mean, if it does freeze, we have the double lock of the mech airlock. It's going to be a pretty imperfect airlock, but it will be functional, you know. Okay, so this rocket is all set to go. What I don't have here is a way to retract the gantry. And then another thing I don't have is a skilled pilot. So let's take a look at all of our duplicants to see who has the most morale overhead. Probably Mohammed. Oh, actually Magenta Fairy, but Magenta Fairies are only cook. Mohammed only has 15 morale need, or Traforza, but Traforza's a rancher. So I would say Mohammed is going to be the next rocket navigator. And I might actually shake him a bit. All right, so let's do that. Let's reset his skills, skill scrubber, because he doesn't need to have the mining skills anymore. And the fact that he has those mining skills is going to pose a bit of a problem, because his morale requirements are higher than I'd like them to be. So one of the things that ends up happening when you do space launches is you get stressed pretty quick. And, you know, it's a stressful job. So if at all possible, avoid stress. Oh, that bothers me so much. Okay, I guess I'm going for it. Oh, make a space scanner out of lead. That thing would melt immediately. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. That's me, of course. I did that. All right, Mohammed. Let's get you ready to go. He doesn't need to be scrubbed of skills for his first launch. Actually, you know what? Why not? I just don't want a scenario where he's extra stressed because I hadn't done this, because it's a pretty easy thing to do. So, I don't even have a destination locked in. That's funny. It would be here. But I don't even have an Atmo suit. So, hop on out. Someone deliver that Atmo suit. Stat. Oh, there it goes. Boom. Okay, so we are kind of ready to go, I guess. But I will scrub him first. It takes a bit. Scrubbing actually does benefit from not sun lamps, just regular lamps. Let's try to stick a regular lamp in here real quick, just to scrub them quicker, 15% quicker, in fact. It's not the most amazingly helpful thing, but help a little bit. So now when water leaks here, it won't spill right, it will spill left. I don't really care if it spills in. Well, no, that's not true. I will want some mesh tiles over here too, to protect my liquid lock that I'll eventually have. Okay, Mohammed, are you skill scrubbed? You just about are, but we never really had a lamp. Good job, me. Really looking out for the little guy. There he is. So now that he's skill scrubbed, I can task him with... Oh. There it goes. I could task him with just the required to do launches. And now his morale needs are a lot lower. And let's give him the full rocket nav. Oh, this is annoying. Can I get down there? I can't, like, give him the right helmet. Because it's panning off of the map. It's like I honestly... I feel like I need to rename him or something to get him to the... Can I switch the order of duplicates here? Oh, here, I'll select the hat up here. Done. Okay. I just had never had that problem. That's kind of funny. Alright, well, I'll leave this skill scrubber here. I don't really need to break it down. But I can deactivate this light unless I need it. Alright, so he will be a little stressed because he spent the entire day being shaken. Like a... Well, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, spent the entire day being shaken. So I'm going to let him de-stress tomorrow before I send him on a rocket launch. I don't really need to stress him out too bad. Let's set this to a sweet 5, not a 7. It's not too important. But here is the rocket. Let's just have him go. He's like, wait, but I'm in such a bad mood. It's like, yeah, but I also don't really care. So, let's copy this setting here where we have a signal switch, the AND gate, and then this to the door. I don't have enough steel to... Oh, made a mess. Oh, because they're stuck. Oh, man, they made a mess in their suits, too. It's going to be way gross. It is because... Yeah, it is because... this tunnel blocks them from returning back to base. So... that's my fault. And I'm going to have to clean up that mess. All right, Mohammed, are you in here? You are. Let's retract. No incoming strikes coming. And launch. Really, this iron is... I will win against this iron. It will happen. All right, so this should be detecting the Explorer 2. Yeah, iron, I'm going to sweep you. And I think you're ready to go. Launch. This marks the second time I've had 2 at once. This space scanner is not plugged in, so that is going to need to get plugged in. So that on the return trip he doesn't crash anywhere or into it or whatever, breaking my bunker doors. That'd be terrible. Alright, these guys are super idle and very, very, very sad. I'm sure they're becoming pissed at me. I could probably... Let me just... Apparently there's not even material enough for this. They're running out of oxygen in their... okay, this is becoming an emergency, so... Time to signal the emergency. So yeah, I sort of stranded them here. Well, you know what would work is what we have Igneous here. Let's do this. This will let them escape. There. I no longer need to make this emergency. I'll just set up a way for them to get out. And then I have to keep watch because their suits are full of urine, and yep, that happens. Some wet feet. I take the blame. Totally take the blame for that one. I'm just trying to tidy up. As a result, the mesh tile saved my liquid lock, which is good. All right, let's take a look. Sat is about to come home. I'm going to have this episode go a little bit longer so that you can see Sat's return. And see if the shipping lines and all that actually work. As you can see, I think it's already detecting it. And opened the doors. Awesome. And return trip should be landing. Eventually. Paddy Wagon and One Who Is Many is very, very, very stressed as a result of being marooned. Really, honestly, just that's 100% my fault. But you know, they'll have downtime coming up. And then the other mission only takes 2.7 cycles because it's obviously closer. Here comes the Sat landing. Looking good. We have an egg-shaped rock. And already it's starting to refuel. Now, at this point, I would say it might be necessary to... Oh, you know what? I have not been doing that. Oh, God. So you know how I had the... pipe block. Yeah, I know. Interestingly, I'm not really sure that I flooded my petroleum. No, it looks pretty flooded. I don't know, we'll see. But let's put this egg-shaped rock in our museum and watch as the conveyor drops it all the way down to here. No. To here, where it gets swept up and sorted. Most of it's obsidian so far, which all then goes to our standard drop-off point. Let's see. Come on, show me something nicer than obsidian. Oh my god, you're killing me with this just... Okay, so there was iso resin, and my dupes are like, I ain't waiting for that, and so they just grabbed it so that they could molecular forge it. I don't blame them. Alright, so I am all out of fossil. So my amount of steel is going to be limited by the lime I can acquire. Now, I was hoping to see some nice sorting here, but I didn't really, because the sweeper was so slow. I mean, it worked. Ultimately, it worked. I just... Ooh, free steel? Yeah, I'll take some free steel. Ultimately, it worked, and I guess that's what matters. So we'll need a conveyor bridge here. And while this rocket is home, I'm going to break down the cargo bay and reroute the... And I'll do this next episode, but I'm going to reroute the rails just to use a little bit less steel. I'm just trying to eke out every little bit of steel that I can. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, next episode, we are going to be working on thermium, which is going to be really cool because it will help liberate a lot of materials that we've been using as steel. So I'll get a whole lot of steel really, really soon. And the thermium will allow us to redesign some of the space stuff. If you check Discord, the announcements, any of this, I'm going to put up some prospective projects that I could work on and have you all vote on them before we bring this series to a close. So the few projects that I have left, if you have suggestions for those projects, let me know in the comments. And then next episode, I think what I'll do on the February the 5th is have you all vote. So if you have ideas for projects, just like I said, let me know in the comments and I will, I'll include them in those polls. Adios, everybody.